let's move on from that. Let's move into something like maybe like a little more fundamental, but something like so fun and like helpful and kind of cool for me, to be honest. I don't know where you guys are at with like pinning, passing, things like that. It's cool for me. It's cool, it's fun. I have some good stuff from here. On schedule, like in a perfect world for me, we just kind of drill a couple things and look at a couple things, see how it goes. We'll start kind of like opening up into some situations and some like constraints and things like that, and just kind of playing some games to kind of feel the position out and start kind of seeing how things go and what problems are arising for everybody and stuff like that, and kind of talk about it, okay? I feel like I learn really well like this. My students tend to learn really well like this. So, let me use you, brother. When I'm trying to pass, right, let's go. We have a couple of things. I've been thinking about like at least passing half guard and things like that as much more just kind of like I'm wrestling still, but I'm wrestling like a different set of problems, right? I'm wrestling a couple of things first. Like, what's the first things that I'm trying to get out of the way here? There's two knees in the way. One's going to be this lower one that can get to my hip here, or get to a full guard here. Okay, so that's one knee. The other knee is this knee. Anytime I cover this knee, this one's kind of out of the way. This one will be like the next kind of problem to get out of the way. Okay, but there's some like pretty simple things that work sometimes. For instance, like turning this in, covering this one, just pinching my thighs like this, stepping this one up in this direction, kind of holding this ankle, and then getting in front of this. It works like way better than you would ever imagine. That I've actually kind of accomplished with getting both of his knees out of the way. So like, I mean, I'm going to try to come down, but I can guarantee if like Brandon's like decent, like, well, he's going for an underhook more, but like, let's say he's even just kind of posting on me in some kind of way, or like framing and something like that. So chest to chest is kind of difficult. But what I definitely need to do is I need to be able to stop him from, how does he have to recover his legs? Can you recover your legs from where you're at right now? So what are you going to have to do? What move there that was important? His shrink, right? So his hips move. So obviously I need to stop that from moving. Okay, which is going to be this elbow pulling in right here. Okay, and then obviously like I could have this in pretty solid, so where he can't move his hips. But if I have this leg super wide and I'm not pinched, boom, now he won this one, right? So we don't want to have that, so we have to pinch. Let's start with that. That'll be pretty simple, I think. Okay, let's start in a Z guard. Both knees can be on the mat just fine, right here. Nice and simple, everything's easy. Maybe like if my hands want to stay busy with something, maybe a hip, maybe a wrist. Okay, it's nice to have this wrist and be able to kind of bring my knee in to this hip with that wrist right there. Okay, now I'm going to step this leg up. Maybe I have a C cup on this. Maybe this came off the hip to a C cup right here. And I start stepping up. Right? I don't know if you guys watch like, Joseph Chen does stuff like this, I think. Right? Where he like kind of waits for you to put a butterfly hook in here, takes an underhook here, puts his head here, and he starts kind of high passing over here and stuff. Okay. I'm not the best at that. But I'm just trying to get around these two. We'll worry about these two later. Let's control his hips. Right? We can drop this one down. Boom. We can cover the hip. We can get this one ready because this is the one that's going to be really busy for a second here. Or in a second, let's say. Here. Okay. If you wanted to, like I said, like it's nice to have this kind of pinch to be able to lean on with my weight and make this tall when my knee comes to the inside hip here. This one stands up. Right? Keep that knee shoulder. And then I just get my ribs in front of it. Right? I'd love to have my hands on this wrist. This would be great. Cover the hip. Yeah. We'll fall into just a half guard for right now. Okay. I got like a problem of potentially like him kicking this knee show through in this direction a bit. Go ahead, yeah. And off balancing like that. That might be something, right? I would say to kind of like counterbalance that a little bit is like, for one, I'm pushing this towards his butt. Anytime too, like this is such a useful grip in no matter how I'm like kind of passing things, because I'm oftentimes on this one a lot here doing different things and stuff like that with this in different ways, right? And so if I can keep his heel to his butt, that's going to make this a lot better, right? And I'll just kind of tuck my elbow back like this. Now once my knee comes in, watch as my hips come high and my foot comes up. Now it's not really, his guard is not very useful now that it's not facing me. It's now facing the ceiling. You know what I mean? When he's facing me and turned towards me, it's pretty useful, right? As he's facing the ceiling, it's not very useful anymore, right? To be honest, the only place I've really had problems with this one is when people start to figure it out. When I come in sometimes and I start doing this and I drop, people will kind of knee lever me. But then I start kind of waiting for that to happen, pulsing, right? And then trying to win underhook back in, or even just keeping that knee off the mat is something you can do to stop that knee lever. I'm almost kind of thinking more about melting in front of it, to be honest. If anything, like I'm almost just holding it in place, kind of. If you guys want to go supinated with this grip, this feels even better for pushing away than this pronated grip. But I like the pronated grip because I do other stuff with the pronated grip that I can't do with the supinated grip. Does that make sense? So it's you know, matter of preference there. But if I'm pushing and I'm going here, I'm maybe at best getting like a couple inches or keeping it in place. And then I'm thinking about just getting myself in front of it. Right? And if I get myself in front of it and I really like sag my rib cage into that and all this stuff, now it's going to be difficult at this point for him to retract that. I would implore you guys actually to like start already doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu. Just a little bit, you know what I mean? Because right now it doesn't look like jiu-jitsu, right? Like, oh wow, free underhooks, free passes. You know what I mean? Like if I was gonna have run into this to me, already kind of shoulder pulsing here. Right. Oh, this one comes in. And now like, yeah, I don't know, this feels pretty good, but at least I have this. You know, and I'm not here. You know what I mean? So at least we're here, okay? Because at some point he probably wants to drop this to the mat. Yeah, start covering my hip. I can feel the difference already. Like, yeah, his elbow slides right above my tailbone a bit, right there, and then just locks it into place right there. Oh, I just want you guys to feel that. Can you get your knee back in here pretty easily, or not? Or can you get your knee back to that wedge right here? Because this is a problem too. Right? Because that means he's kind of slacking on keeping this one tight here. Okay? Cool. Ready? Good, like, let's say we're here. This is common. Yeah, this is super common. And so instead of like continuing to try to fish in here or just like whizzer in and trying to flatten him with a whizzer or something like that, let's just like do the first thing of like killing their underhook. I can pin from here as long as I can win this side of his body now. Okay. Sure. It's like the passing is like maybe a little bit different or difficult because I don't have this far side underhook here, but I can still, first of all, stop his underhook from working. Okay, because what he really needs is to create like a lift in me and bring me forward and up, right? And so I just need to be able to sag back and clamp and kill that. Okay. Now from a position like this, for instance, this has been really helpful for me. I think it could be helpful to think of it like this for you guys too. Okay. So he'll just have an underhook and I'll just be like really like locking that elbow in. Okay, pay attention to that. Boom. Clamped. Now, instead of doing anything with this hand, like too special, what I'm going to have you guys do is actually like get your like, blade to the far side of his face. And then I want you to kind of like lift him with this and place it to the mat right there. It's going to be easier than you think. I promise. Anytime we're dealing with like the idea of passing with like either a near side underhook or this cross face and things like that, all we're trying to do, like think about, does he want to be flat? Does he want to be extended? How does he want to be? He wants to be like in a ball. He wants to be concave. He wants his knees to be close to his elbows on this side of his body. Because this is the space that I want to win. What I want the most out of passing this is going to be all this space in between this knee and this elbow right here. Right? And so he's trying to close all that off. And I'm trying to stretch that all out. So like, boom, it kind of stretches up the body. Now, like as we kind of win that, I can even just start kind of walking my feet underneath his a little bit. And now I'm kind of like, he's almost past 180 now at this point. But if you're dealing with lockdown and stuff, like you definitely want to like have your foot up like this. This would be a good idea. Okay. And then a lot of times, like what's going to come in from there? Probably like a butterfly hook or something, right? Right. And then I kind of like have to win in some kind of way. We're not going to talk about the passing today. We're just talking about pinning today. Just talking about pinning. Okay. So let's try that crossface first. Many more problems are going to arise than whatever we just went over right now. Okay. We're going to be dealing with a ton of stuff here. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to be trying to find some sort of way to pin our partner. Whether it's on the far side, underhook, 2 underhooks, near side underhook, cross face, cross body, like over back, yeah. I mean, I guess over back counts too, but I don't want you guys rushing to over back. Or if you go over back, maybe use it to get an underhook and then come back and cover here. But as long as they're pinned, more or less, it's just hard to really keep somebody pinned here. Knee pinched inside, elbow pinched on hip. Okay. Let's just do this for a little bit and then maybe we'll talk. All right. I want to see what's going around out here. I want to see how you guys are doing with things and stuff like that. For bottom guy wins this game by recovering like a useful guard. Meaning that like, even if I'm here, let's say, and Brandon works in like a knee shot or something like that. Yeah. I don't like just yet consider this a useful guard. Do you guys follow? Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm like kind of over back now and I'm able to kind of get myself back in there. I'm able to stick him still. Okay. But this time maybe he is able to get that knee inside. And he's able to kind of win a frame. This is a pretty useful guard. This isn't too bad. Okay. Maybe he has a butterfly hook in and he's pinned. No winner yet. You know, if you stick them for 3 to 5 seconds with a butterfly hook and they cannot move you, let's consider that a win on top. If they're still able to kind of rock me with this butterfly around and stuff like that, then obviously we haven't won a pin. So he's got a butterfly hook. He's got to be able to get back to some frames or something like that. If you get to an underhook, you got to win the dog fight. That's it. You got to be able to, from here, if you get to that underhook, you got to be able to, like even this, I'm not going to count this yet because Brandon still might be able to cross face me down and like put me back to the mat. I got to be able to come up to a dogfight type situation here to win. For even let's say like a broken single leg or front headlock, game's over. Maybe no winner for a front headlock, but cool. Yeah.